good evening, and I hope everybody is very, very well, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, and let's just get, and I just want to welcome you all to a Friday frolic where we basically enjoy the good laugh at people who, let's be honest, shouldn't be taken seriously in any way at all. And all I'm going to say is, let's say hello to who are in the chat. And as I've said before, I did notice that one or two of you had said, "Oh, why slow mode on?" That's my fault, and I managed to rectify it. And so I only do apologise. My fault. So sorry. But I just want to welcome. Hello, Mad Monk, and hello, Stephen Bank. Good evening. And yes, my running mate, my VP, our Billy Kershaw. We don't need no stinking badges. No, not at all. And good evening. Good evening. Simon says, I hope you're very, very well. And Suzanne DW, good evening. I hope you're very, very well, and hope you're looking forward to the weekend. And my beautiful daughter, God bless sis, and all I can say is, I haven't forgotten. I know I promised you this last week, but unfortunately, it was something I didn't do. But I'm sorry to play this, but I did have my orders. I certainly did have my orders from my daughter, who kept reminding me. So all I can say is, are any of you blinded by the light? Well, if you are, enjoy this wonderful bit of excerpt by, if I remember rightly, it's a guy called Maestro Zilkos, who did a good bit of videoing, editing, and my daughter found this hilariously funny, and so I better do this now before I forget, because if I don't, my daughter will kill me. She will tear this door down and attack me with a big, massive wooden spoon and give me massive lumps all over my head. So this is Zilko Maestros, or Maestro Silkos, should I say, blinded by the light, but with a difference. Get your dad dancing out.
I've been trying to hold. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through withdrawals. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch. Baby, I look around, since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. I said, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, I'm drowning in the night. When I'm like this, you don't want my trust. Hey. I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Since city's cold and empty, no one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. I said, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, I'm drowning
Trump dancing going.
I said, oh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
Are you happy now? My daughter's been badgering me to play this. She found it hilariously funny, and so I was under orders to play it. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed that. As much as my lovely daughter did, because I know she found that incredibly hilariously funny. Yes, she did actually threaten to attack me with a spoon if I didn't play it. So now I will not have lumpy head. But anyway, see, no doubt there'll be a few stragglers, get my teeth in. Yes, but yes, good evening, John O'Sullivan. I know you'll be sat there thinking, what the hell have I let myself in for? What the hell am I watching here? Good evening, Ben Shaw. And yes, good evening. Yes, I'm safe from the spoon, but yes. Now, until next week, 'cause I'm pretty much sure my daughter will find me something. Dad, you've got to play that next week. But anyway, welcome to the Friday Frolic, and I have to say, this is my favourite part of the week, because you know, when it comes to, we all, you know, what we're like in the chat, you know, we're pretty much immersed in what's happening in the political world, and you know, it's all a bit fun sometimes, but we can get a bit, it becomes a little bit too much, and we just need a bit of a break. And this is what I enjoy most of all on a Friday, welcoming the weekend, where we just watch people take the piss out of people who deserve to be taken the piss out of, and we watch people who shouldn't be taken seriously and look stupid doing it. But what I will say is, now that was a shocker, wasn't it? What was a shocker the other day? If you'd have put money on, was it Monday? That, especially after what had happened the day, Monday, Tuesday, the day when Jimmy Dimley was top of the lead when it came to the candidacy. You wouldn't, if you'd have said after that, oh yeah, Jimmy Dimley will be thrown out, you'd have been carted off to the funny farm. You would not have thought that was coming. But just shows you how Jimmy Dimley is really that dim. And let's be honest, we have an expert in our field called Matilda Thought, where she gives her thoughts on now that it's against Kemi Badenough and Honest Bob. Enjoy.
We have our top two finalists. Cleverly was too clever by half. When we heard the news, we all took a gasp in disbelief. How could these two Tories accused of lying get to the top? Well, I think lying will be good for us. Every time they say one, we take an intake of breath, but that actually oxygenates our body. So in a way, it's going to be a health kick for the nation. Thanks to the Conservative Party, we'll be huffing and puffing and gasping our way through the next round of debates in the leadership contest. They're almost like the fourth emergency service, providing an oxygen tank for the shocked and traumatised nation who can't quite believe what's happened to the Tory party. We have our top two finalists.
Yes. But yes, good evening, Quinton. Queer piece. Nearly said queer place then. I do apologise. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. But yes, I found that hilariously funny. No. Yeah, not into music. So, fair enough. But which is fair enough. But I know it'll have made my daughter happy. But yes, I love Matilda Thorpe. I think she's brilliant. And yes, the amount of lies you're going to be hearing from these two over the next, how many weeks is it? How many weeks? God knows. Apparently, according to our honest Bob, Kemi Badenough is a Remainer now. But we do. We need to go through the runners and riders, and let's have a look at this. The new one from the Telegraph. Badenoch is a Thatcher for our times. Readers on who should be the next Tory leader. Yeah, some of these are belters. You know, not only be Labour's worst nightmare, but she'll kick Starmer's butt during PMQs. Strong personality, common sense and diplomatic. Wipe the floor with Labour. These are a few of the comments that are coming out. Yeah. I don't rank much to the intelligence of some of these Telegraph readers. True intellectual. A true intellectual steel and determination. My favourite. This has got to be without doubt. My favourite. Common sense approach. If I'm honest, I've a funny feeling that I think, judging by what I've been hearing, I think it's Kemi Badenoch's to lose. That's my. I don't know what your thoughts are. Yes. Yeah, the only thing Chemical Badcock kicks is the little people off the curb. Yes, absolutely. And I have, if I'm honest, I've watched her in House of Commons. There were an interesting. I think it was about. I've forgotten what it was. I think it was something to do with housing, where she's going through the motions. She thinks she's doing some witty repartee one-liners, and well, this new Labour MP got up and was basically called out being patronising. And I could tell she got a little bit flustered, So there's I'm sorry if it sounds patronising, but we're here to, but to basically call out to the mistakes that the government are doing, and to be honest, she were incredibly patronising, and she's talking about not many people make it to 100 days. Just look at Sue Gray, and I'm sure I heard somebody say, well, what about Liz Truss? But. They've absolutely screwed up, haven't they? The Tories. They will have been hoping it's going to be an absolute catfight. Hello, Dennis Pennis. I hope you're well. I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. But it's going to be an absolute car crash, isn't it? Does anybody actually think that any of these two, whoever wins, is going to make it to the next general election? I have a funny feeling they won't. That's my honest thought. I don't think they will. Neither of them. But I would say when I was watching it, she does give that air of as though she's very patronising. Very, very patronising. And Love Unlimited for Barry White. Yes. I can imagine in his heyday, Barry White, they'll be in the deepest fish, in the deepest oceans. They'll have been swimming nice and quietly along the bottom of the seabed, where you can't hear anything. And we're what's that noise? that Barry White singing again? What a voice that man had, didn't it? But yes. But let's just be honest, her opponent, he's not much of a bright spark, is he? I would say he's on the grift descent. He'll just say whatever he feels he needs to say. He'll need to say to just basically to win an election or to win your votes, won't he? Yeah. Cuckoo, cuckoo. But yeah, this was. I don't know if this is an old interview with that irritating Nick Ferrara, but I think this basically sums up what an idiot this guy is.
You won't need reminding of the grim anniversary we remember tomorrow, 40 years since the Brighton bomb. Mr. Generic, I want to take you back to your clearly defined policy. You want to leave the ECHR, but the Good Friday Agreement, of course, is part of that legislation. So would you want to go back to a time where that is undone or potentially usher in some degree of conflict again?
No, what we would do is produce a British Bill of Rights, which would enshrine our rights into British statute. So it would be for our own parliament to make those decisions. And we're the country of habeas corpus, of Magna Carta. We are perfectly capable of protecting the freedoms and liberties of our own people. And the Good Friday Agreement itself envisaged a Northern Irish Bill of Rights, which was never implemented by Tony Blair. So I think in the spirit of that, we would create our own Bill of Rights, which would take these issues forward. And I think that would be a satisfactory answer to this problem.
Well, let's be honest, would you trust this man with your human rights? I won't trust this man to tie my own shoelaces and do it properly. But anyway, good afternoon, my good friend Sir Larry the Cat. Just out of interest, has our Prime Minister got over his massive hangover and has Ed Davey got over his 48 hour knees up to celebrate that the two candidates for the Conservative Party, you know, as he managed to get on the bungee jump and while he's absolutely trousered going, vote Liberal Democrats, vote Liberal Democrats. Has he gotten over that now? And as Sir Keir managed to get off the Pims and get back to the job of hand of running the country. But yeah, would you trust this man? Yes, I would not trust generic to put my bins out. Exactly, neither would I, because knowing him, he put the wrong set of bins out. And, you know, you tell him, no, it's Green Day today, generic. You've put the recycling bins out, you utter fucking donut. And he said, right, seeing as though I've put the wrong bins out, we will have to now leave the ECHR, because if I do that, that means I could be casted off to Rwanda. And say something stupid like that, because that's what he'll do. But you wouldn't trust this guy. But good evening, Wolfpet. Hope you're well. And welcome to the Friday Frolic. And also, I would just like to say, I hope you're looking forward to the week. Hope you're going to have a lovely weekend. But I won't trust this man. Yeah, run a bath. Good evening, chatty rat. I hope you're well. The ECHR is enshrined in the Good Friday Agreement. Exactly. And they're leaving the Council of Europe, and as a whole, including Northern Ireland, ditching the ECHR would be a breach of the Good Friday Agreement. That it is. And we bow to your superior knowledge, my good friend Chatty Rat. Absolutely spot on. This man's just talking out of his hat, isn't he? And this... And... Good evening, Joe Left. I hope you're well. Now, this is another bit of a... No worries, Simon says. Don't worry about it. We'll still be here. We'll still be here waiting for you. Now, I know this will be a bit excruciating because there'll be two people to listen to, but there's something that he does say that, let's just say, I find... Yeah, well, I do my best, my friend Ben Shaw. This is an interview with you. Kay Burley, yeah, I know, you know. Yeah, I know. These two utter idiots. But it's something he says that I find really, really interesting. Because, like, she brings up this situation about... you remember in his infinite wisdom to basically... capture as much basically attention, grasp as much attention as he possibly can. You know, when in my days, in my youth, when I used to go jogging with my dad, whether we were at Skegness or whether around my home city, you know, we'd get us trainers on, jogging pants. And yeah, as you can tell, obviously this body is made for running, and I would stick on me tracksuit top, and we go for a run. You know, no, not this man. He thinks I know to catch attention. That look at me, I'm with the people. I will wear my Hamas is terrorist jumper. Well, she brings it up, and it's what he says here that I find very, very interesting.
Tell me about this hoodie with Hamas are terrorists on it.
Well,
what's all that about?
I watched your comments on the show a few weeks ago.
Thank you.
Well, I always enjoy watching the show, Kay. But I think on this occasion you were wrong. This is a statement of fact. It is the law of the land that Hamas, like Hezbollah, are prescribed terrorist organisations.
Do you need to put it on a T-shirt?
Well, I think there was a gesture that was very well received by hundreds of thousands of people across our country, particularly the British Jewish community.
Yeah. Why did you need to... That's certainly true. Why did you need to wear it at party conference?
Because I went to an event which was for the British Jewish community, and they feel that, if I'm honest with you, Kay, it was wrong of you and other journalists to even question that what you said, that I might have been inciting people. Inciting who? Supporters of Hamas.
Depends where you wear it.
Supporters of Hamas.
Depends where you wear it, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well,
if you were wearing it as you walked down Park Lane when there was a demonstration for a pro-Palestinian demonstration coming the other way, what do you think would happen?
Well, I'm not bothered about supporters of Hamas or Hezbollah. They are...
Yeah, that's the bit that I found interesting. Now, it's not something as a subject, I basically delve into, because I would say I don't say know enough about it to really say anything. But I do. And one thing I have noticed, as far as I'm concerned, now you guys in the audience, idiot. I don't think I've got thousands here waiting for me, watching me. An idiot I am sometimes. You guys in the chat, I'm pretty much sure there is quite a fair amount of people from the Jewish community who go on these marches. So is he basically saying that these people are Hamas terrorist supporters as well? It's rather an odd place he's put himself in, hasn't it? Don't worry about Stephen Binning. Don't worry about it. You know, it's not a problem. But good evening. Nice to see you here. Hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. But he's basically, is he trying to say that I'm sure I've seen videos of people from the Jewish community, they say they're from the Jewish community, saying who were on these marches, you know, showing support for the Palestinian people. And for him to say that, it just shows you what an odious little turd he is, isn't it, really? but anyway, that's what I found interesting.
They are terrorists. Anyone should be able to walk down the streets of this country, Kay, stating the law. The law is that Hamas are a terrorist organisation, and I do not want to see any support for terrorism in this country.
That's not what I said. Anyway, do you feel that it's appropriate to wear a hoodie to show your principles?
This is hilarious.
Yes.
Why?
Because we live in a free country and anyone should be able to wear a hoodie which is emblazoned with statements of the law. That is absolutely integral to freedom
When are you
of
going to wear it?
speech.
When are you going to wear it next? Will you wear it this afternoon when we're hearing whether or not you're going to be chosen?
Well, I'm not intending to wear it this afternoon. No, I mean, and also, okay, I think your viewers will be surprised. Why are you so focused on this? Why not focus on the issues that really matter to the public, like the economy, like the NHS, like immigration?
I'll let you talk about those to start with, and then this is a sidebar to what you were on your soapbox. I'll let you have your 2 minutes. Tell me about...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, see, he's just an absolute horrible little man. I'm trying to find words to. He's there basically trying to say that people who are showing sympathy for the plight of Palestinian people are terrorist supporters. And I'm glad, as I said, there are plenty of what you call from the Jewish community. I've heard a lot of people say that they join these marches in sympathy for the plight of the Palestinian people. So are you saying these these people from the Jewish community are terrorist supporters? Yeah, hello, good evening, Tories. Don't get tasered. Good afternoon, and I hope you're well, and thanks for joining us. But yeah, Sir Larry the Cat, I think he speaks for all of us. You know, can he wear it back to front next time? Yeah, I think he should do. You know, with the hood over his face, so we don't have to look at that absolute horrible, disgusting face. You know, this is a man who thought it was a good idea to paint over murals. For the these people who these young children coming over who unaccompanied children on boats. His idea, well, no, to put them off from coming here, we'll paint over pictures of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. You know, as they're waiting to see if their processing claims get done or whatever. You know, something that'll put a smile on the face. No, we can't have that, But yeah, exactly. Steve. Hug a hoodie, even. But yeah, I'd like to see him wear it back to front. Now, as I say, when it comes to stuff like what happens over in the Middle East, it's not something I really delve into because it's not really something I just feel is my place, really, because I wouldn't say I know enough, and you do get a lot of places where there's a lot of, you think, maybe misinformation, you might not know enough, and you can go down some rabbit holes. But as the more and more I've watched what's been going on, here's my personal thought on it. I think the Israeli government has probably done more damage to Israel than whatever Hezbollah or Hamas could ever dream of doing. Because let's be honest, some of the stuff, I think we're in that situation where if Israel attack another country, oh well, they're just defending themselves. If another country attacks Israel because of what's been happening, or the terrorists, that's what it looks like to me. But this is just, but I found this just absolutely hilarious. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but this guy on the right, absolute genius. And what's more, he absolutely, and what you love even more, he tears Piers Morgan to absolute shreds. This is just beautiful.
Hamas did on October the 7th.
Well, in the Zionist entity, they do. And they do worse than that.
They don't.
They don't.
Israel's never committed an atrocity on that scale.
On what scale?
On that scale.
Explain. What scale?
Killing 1,200 people.
They've killed 40,000.
Sorry, in one day, massacring
They've killed 40,000
Israelis that could get their
Wait,
hands
hold on.
kidnapping
on
children,
the 23rd of September, what
kidnapping
happened?
Holocaust
On the
survivors,
23rd, we were talking about October the
raping and
7th.
abusing women, beheading people. Oh, you don't think that happened, do you?
Well, hold on. You just said raping and abusing. We just started the show with an admission that there's a problem in Israeli society, that there was
I'm talking about Hamas.
Yeah, but you just said Israel doesn't
We
do
both condemned what you talked about earlier in relation
So why are
to
you saying Israel don't do that? What's wrong with you?
I didn't say that.
You just said that now.
No, I didn't.
You said Israel doesn't do, and then you just listed 3 or 4 things, and that was one of the things that you just listed.
No, I said Israel had never...
Am I speaking a foreign tongue?
Sorry, listen to what I'm saying. I said Israel never perpetrated an atrocity on that scale.
Okay. On the
in one
23rd
day against the people of Palestine. They never have.
Well, hold on. How many civilians died on October the 7th?
Civilians about 800.
Oh, sure. All right.
But hang on.
Hold on.
But nearly 7,000 more were wounded.
Sure.
7,000
What happened on the 23rd of September?
were wounded.
What happened on the 23rd of September?
7,000.
Okay. Sure.
Think about that number.
Okay, no problem.
That's the scale of people who were attacked on that day.
Are we talking over each other? It's 2-on-1 now.
8,000 people were attacked.
No problem. On the 23rd
One of the most horrendous terror attacks.
Is this going to be a monologue or is it a dialogue?
History. I'm telling you some facts.
I know the facts.
You may not like it, but I'm telling you them.
Okay, I'm telling you, on the 23rd of September, Israel attacked Lebanon. How many people died? How many civilians died, according to the Lebanese health, the Ministry of Health?
I believe it's about 2,000 was the last recorded number I saw.
No, in one day. On the 23rd of September.
Including combatants, including many combatants.
No, on the 23rd, how many died? How many died? Why don't we have a year commemorating the 23rd of... A year commemorating the 23rd of September, since we're having a year commemorating the 7th of October, and about 600 people died, 650 people, civilians died on that day. That's quite close, isn't it?
We don't know they're civilians. They don't distinguish between
8,000 people
were
attacked.
We're not talking about attack, we're talking about dead. What's wrong with you? Why are you not looking at me again? You're crying. Are you crying?
Because the viewers are seeing the three of us together.
I see that there's tears in your eyes.
There are no tears in my eyes.
What's going on?
There's a...
See, one thing I've noticed I was sat there we're watching it and I'm thinking, why are you just looking squarely into the camera? Why don't you look at the guy? He's sat next to you on the table. Why are you looking? you look. Why? Because you could tell straight away it's all just for the audience. It's all for the clicks, innit? And in the end up, I saw another video of these two going at it, hammer and tongs, and he accused the other guy of doing all this for clicks, and he says, "What like you do? I'm doing nothing different to what you do." And he basically called the other guy out for being a bit of a pedo, because somebody who was on Epstein's plane, if I heard rightly and all. But he's absolutely right. Do you think there will be a 1 year's commemoration, 1 year on the 23rd of September? I bet you hope there isn't. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, good evening, Nick Score 74. Welcome to the show, and I hope you're well. Literally how he sounded. Yeah, Israel have committed a big atrocity like that on the Palestinians in 1 day, Piers. I forgot when it was, but I remember George Gallo educating Piers about it. I'm to be honest, I'm not the biggest George Galloway fan, but on this, he's shit hot at it, isn't he? So yeah. Stop crying, pierced helmet. Wake up and smell the rosaries. I hope you're well. Welcome to the show, and I hope you're very well, and hope you're going to have a lovely weekend. But as I say, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't go into it too much, because I wouldn't say I know enough. There'll be much more intelligent people that'll know far more about it. But here's a bit of what I will say is, for me, I think this is my favourite cat video, because I think it sums up the situation over in Gaza very, very well. Very, very well. It's basically sums up for me, what's happening over with Israel and Gaza. Help! Yeah, my favourite cat video. Because it does, that's what it sums up to me. It's like, I still remember that spitting image. I still remember that spitting image where they're doing the mastermind, where they're talking about what the Israeli government have done for atrocities for, and that were how many years, over 30, 40 years ago? And as I say, for me, that's for me, that's what with the situation with Israel and Gaza looks like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it's always seemed to look like for me. But anyway, well, we won't dwell too much, but that's what it looks like to me. But what we do know is that a certain individual has got a book out. He's got a book out. So it would be rather egregious of me rather egregious of me not to give him the plug. Yeah, exactly. Spitting it. Yeah, spitting image was quality. They ripped the out of South Africa too. Yeah. See the video. It's also the cat's like, stop being a moron. Absolutely. But it would be rather egregious of me not to allow this man to plug his new book. Also, I like the title of his book. I think it suits him down to the ground.
Folks, I'm delighted to say that it is only hours now until the publication of Unleashed, the full, unexpurgated, untravelled, uncorseted memoirs that I've written. It is so unrestrained and uncontrolled, the only way to calm it down is to buy it. Unleashed. Folks, I'm delighted to say that it is...
I think that title suits him down to the ground. I think that basically tells you everything you need to know. You don't even have to read from page 1 to the final page, because we all know that's exactly what he is and who he is, isn't he? And like when you watch some of his, and when you now don't know if you, yes, absolutely. Wake up and smell the rosemary is the epitome of cunts. Absolutely. On the Bus's theme tune, that's it. Yeah. Because like where I've heard of it, where I've heard that tune was Hawksby and Jacobs. They do clips of the week. That's it. Clips of the week. Absolutely hilarious. I haven't listened to any of them for a while. But yes. Hello, one Gerard. I hope you're well. Yes, I totally agree. When I first saw it, the book had me in stitches. Absolutely brilliant. Yes. Yes, I've noticed God's Last Sis. Yes, you know at least 100 other words, but you still prefer the word cunt. So I know. Yes, spaff away. I made another recently about CCS. Have you? Might have to watch that, definitely. But yeah, it would be rather remiss of me to not allow him to plug his new book. I think he's onto a winner there. Because because like we also, I don't know if you watched any of his interviews last week, but there was one bit which for me just summed him up to a T. This was where he's basically accepts no responsibility for anything.
Obviously talk about Partygate. I got to those sections of the book and it seemed to me, well, in terms you basically say it wasn't a big deal. I regret apologising. Is that really your position? No, you regret apologising?
No.
That is what you say in the book.
Well, let me explain what I said, because if you look at Unleashed, as I say, there's plenty.
I've read it.
No, don't you mean cunt?
I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it says. That it was basically a load of nonsense, and you regret apologising. I mean, do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Let me give you my own.
Answer that. Do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Let me give you my own view.
Well, if you answer my question, let's then perhaps go on to have your view. Do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Look, I don't discuss my conversations with the Queen.
That wasn't my question. My question was, do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Let me explain what I meant by that observation. What I was trying to say there was I think that the blanket apology, the sort of apology I issued right at the beginning, I think the trouble with it was that afterwards, all the accusations that then rained down on officials who'd been working very hard in Number 10 and elsewhere were thought that to be true. And by apologising, I had sort of inadvertently validated the entire corpus.
I get that, but
and it wasn't fair on those people.
Okay, well, let's talk about Brexit. Is, as you say, a defining part of your legacy. It was chaos afterwards, as you acknowledge in your book. And you blame a lot of people for that. You blame David Cameron, you blame Theresa May later, you blame the EU. The one person you don't blame is you, and people will find that amazing. You told us that we should do this, and you hadn't devoted any serious thought to what came next.
Come on. So I wanted to win an argument.
Yeah, that's all I ever want for him on it. Win an argument. These are people, he knows full well Brexit will never, ever affect him. Only affects others. Sorry for butting in, but I think even I need a bit of a break from all the bollocks he's spewing. But
I believed in freedom, and I believed that our country had a great, great future.
But you were the leader. You were leading us into this.
What we expected, and what I think everybody expected, was that the Cameron government, having called a referendum a yes/no choice for the people, Leave Remain choice for the people, would bring forward a white paper.
Why? He didn't believe it. What made you possibly think that would be the outcome?
Because every other European leader, when they hold referendums, decides, once the people has...
See, I've so noticed a couple of times that little duper's delight grin. He's just an absolute... He knows he's talking unadulterated twaddle. But he seems to think, but I know you'll believe it.
Her voted, decides what to do and stays in office. So it's not normal for the Prime Minister, having asked for a referendum vote, suddenly to evacuate the stage.
Yeah. He's just, I didn't watch any of it because, I think it went on for about 20 odd minutes or something. And I think after 2 minutes would have been enough for me. But yeah, he's laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, absolutely Billy Kershaw. It's just a big, massive joke. Yeah. Boris stutters more than me, and that's saying something. To be honest, my lovely daughter, you don't do too bad. Unshaved and spaffing everywhere. Yeah. Stutter. But I think we all know what's happening there. He's just giving his chance to get his brain into gear. What's first thing that can pop into my head? And yeah, I'm expecting BJ to give away remainder copies of To the Homeless just to show how kind he is. Yeah, you won't put it past him, would you? Yeah, he published the book fibber and fibber. Yeah. You should have left him on the zip line. There, yeah, exactly. Should have left him on that zip line indefinitely. Spaffer, comb your hair, you scruffy bastard. Yeah, we all know the reason why he does it, make it look as though people shouldn't take him seriously. I feel so important now. He replied, love your podcast. Can I say that Boris is you can call him whatever you want, one Gerard. Yeah. The lying prick is responsible for my late father no longer being here. I despise him, to be honest. My dad had bladder and prostate cancer, and his treatment was delayed because of that clown. Yeah, it won't surprise me, because when if I'm honest, when I basically when it came to that's when it came to the pandemic, my dad was already vulnerable. He was suffering with Parkinson's and dementia, and he was quite vulnerable. So in my decision, I thought, I'm not going to go up, because I know full well if I'd have gone up and given him COVID, and I knew he wouldn't have survived it, because he wasn't well, I would have never forgiven myself. So I hoped, in the hope of hopes, that this man would come through and do his Winston Churchill moment. And as we all know, as history goes, he failed miserably. And in the end up, while we're still in lockdown, I got a phone call from my mum and my brother saying, look, you better come up. It doesn't really matter now, because he's not got long to go now. But they did tell me that be prepared for a shock. And I'll be honest, it was a shock, because I remember going in that room, and he was practically skin and bones on a hospital bed. And he just looked at me as if to say, who are you? And, and it was heartbreaking. But yeah, what I posted is, I hate this man with every fibre of my being. I only hope for that tomorrow he suffers from leprosy or an early death, and that death wouldn't have been early enough for me. Takes no responsibility for nothing and blames everyone else for being wholly unfit for office. Tosser. And that's how I view him. And while he were partying, my dad's funeral could only have 30 people. And that's it. Absolutely. Billy Kershaw is just an absolute criminal. And good evening, Cherry Girl, and hope you're well. Totally agree, he does belong in prison, but we all know full well he won't. But yeah, I hoped that he would have his Churchill moment, rise to the fort, and he failed miserably. He absolutely failed miserably, and I detest him with every fibre of. I won't read his book, because. And yeah, I was born from the same place as you. It's all right, don't worry about Billy Kershaw. Cheers anyway. But yeah, it was horrible. Because like there was a time when the dementia had taken hold, and he was taken to hospital because he just. Yeah, you're quite right, actually. I should have thought about that better. Simon says, yeah, leprosy is curable. Can anybody give me painful, incurable diseases? But he just like, he'd forget things, and being the man that he was, he wanted to do everything himself. And the one time he fell, he had a fall, and he had to go to hospital. Then he contracted pneumonia and had to, and they were basically saying, even though we're still in lockdown, they've said that we've got provisions for you to go visit him, because they didn't think you were going to survive it. And I remember we would wash yourselves, masked up, and we would basically go see him. And even then, when I did speak to him, at the time he still remembered me and recognised me, and I remember saying, "Is he going to try and take his breathing mask off?" And I said, "No, leave it on." I said, "Don't worry about it, Dad." And it was most painful time, but luckily enough, he managed to pull through. He managed to survive, but you looking at him and you can tell it wasn't going to be too long, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to see him after this, and I didn't really, unfortunately. But that's the reason why I detest this man with every fibre of my being, the excuses that he makes. And good evening, Jeannie Bottle. I hope you're well, and I hope you had a lovely day, and I hope you're looking forward to a lovely weekend. But anyway, that's the reason why I detest that man with every fibre of my being. But let's get back to a bit more light-hearted humour. Yeah, eat out to peter out. Let's go speak to someone who knows how to tell the truth. Yes, Noreen Skinner, who basically tells the truth about what manages to tell us what questions Kunsberg was going to tell him.
Hello, it's me, Boris Johnson here, with a little message to address the situation that was circulating online about me, because yesterday I was meant to partake in an impartial interview with Laura Kunsberg from the BBC. Unfortunately, it had to be postponed because Laura pressed reply all on the briefing documents, which in turn sent all of the questions she was going to ask to me. To be honest with you, it doesn't bother me at all because she does this all of the time. She's constantly sending me things. She sends me her car renewal insurance documents, her Christmas menu wish list, her menstrual cycle updates. To be honest with you, if I'm to be completely candid with you, it's really starting to grate on me because it's really clogging up my inbox and it's stopping me from coordinating cheating on my wife. I mean, my work emails. Oh God. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I'm peeved off, to be honest, because I've got a ruddy good book out. So in the interest of transparency, because apparently that's what us politicians do now, is I'm going to share with you the questions that she would have asked me. So I've dug them out of the inbox, and this is what they would have been. So here we go. Question number 1 would have been, why are you so brilliant, Boris? And I would have said, well, look at me. And that would have been that question done. Question number 2 would have been, why do you hate Labour? And I would say, because, well, look at them. What a mess. That Keir Starmer, he really is the sausage devil. Question number 3 was going to be, I love your book. Not really a question, but, ruddy great promo. The last question she was going to ask, she said, I have to ask this, and I'm really, really sorry about that, Boris. It was going to be, was it wrong for you to accept closed donations and all of that money as Prime Minister? And I would say, do we really have to, do I have to answer that, Laura? And she would say, no. And I would say, brilliant. And that would be the end of the interview. So that's cleared that up, done. And for anyone that thinks that her and I had any kind of affair of any kind, I would never do that to Jessica. Oh, I just outed another one. Oh, God, ruddy hell. Oh, no, Nadine Dorries is there. I've got to go. She's got a handcuff and she's got a microphone. I'm not giving you a peerage. Oh, ruddy hell.
Skinner, she's absolutely brilliant. Yes. Oh, Churchill dog would have been a bit better than Boris. Yes, absolutely. That's the Churchill you mean. I don't think it'll matter either one. I think they'd have been miles better than him. Yes. Zara was trapped here in South Africa. Oof. Sorry for you. Hold on a minute. I feel like it's horrible in 20. Yeah, certainly was. Yeah, she is. She's an absolute Yeah, exactly. Sausage devil, sausage devil. Yeah, that's. I think she's brilliant as Noreen Skinner. Yeah, the Starmer swing both ways. I have no problem with everyone's choices. Not at all. But be honest. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Starmer, we have hot off the press news from Matt Green, where he wants to talk about Labour having a bit of a reset, where they want to forget about the last 100 days, and this is hot off the press news.
Following a rocky first few weeks in office, culminating in the resignation of Sue Gray, the Labour government has asked, would it be possible to start again, please? Our dress rehearsals, do-overs, and let's pretend that never happened correspondent Jonathan Goodenough has more. Yes, that's right. Earlier today, the Labour Party put out this statement. We've worked out what we're doing now, so let's just call the last 100 days a practice run. Yeah? Right. They then added, people keep saying that we've had 14 years to prepare for this, but actually Corbyn was in charge for some of that time, and then there was COVID and Ukraine and a lot of football matches and concerts we had to attend. Before the election, they said they'd hit the ground running. If they did hit the ground running, then their legs were going in the wrong direction, and the ground was at a different angle than they expected. So what happens now? Well, Labour have asked everyone to forget all the problems and missteps, delete any social media snark, ignore all the press coverage, and prepare for a professional, competent, and mistake-free government starting from now. So is this a reset? No, apparently reset sounds too much like what the previous government tried to do. This is a complete reboot without saving changes. And is that actually possible? Of course not. What's gone wrong? Well, the way that the British political system has no handover period makes any transition difficult. And although Sue Gray had a lot of experience in the civil service, she also had a lot of enemies there. Right. There's also the perennial issue of trying to run a modern state from 10 Downing Street, essentially a house in central London, barely big enough to hold a party in. Okay. But also Keir Starmer seems to think that running a government is a bit like running a public service, whereas it actually involves a lot more politics than that. Can you explain that in simple terms? Well, it's like he thinks he's on the chase, but it's actually the traitors. Much simpler. And any politician who thinks they don't need to do much politics will quickly come to grief. So what happens now? Well, Labour's top team has been reshuffled and they'll hope they can get a grip on things before the much-awaited budget being delivered the day before Halloween. The timing seems to be a bit on the nose. They don't seem to think that symbolism is a thing. So once the budget is revealed, everything will be clear and everyone will get down to business. Yes, or they'll want to do another reset soon afterwards and go for a best of 3. Next up, as it's revealed that Angela Rayner bought a suit for her partner using her own money, we ask how can a self-professed socialist buy things from a shop in a capitalist society? And after we've spent about 10 minutes on that, we'll see if we can squeeze in some news about the Middle East.
Yes, good question. How can a socialist survive in a capitalist world? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gerard. Yeah. When I bet you love Tommy Cube. Hold on, I've got something right. Oh, it's my finger. Yes, I did enjoy Tommy Cooper. He was hilariously funny. I'm sure I remember introducing my children to Tommy Cooper. I even remember introducing them to Laurel and Hardy, where they were all in fits of giggles and laughter. So, yes, I did enjoy Tommy Cooper on Gerard, yes. But yeah, I always enjoy Matt Cooper. Matt Green said, Matt Cooper, what an idiot I am. Matt Green is absolutely top draw. Couldn't afford to send some cash, I would, but I just said, it's shit. I can send a 5. Don't worry about it, my friend. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the show, and let's welcome in the weekend with a bit of a good laugh. And I'll love you too, Megan, and thanks for joining us, and also thanks for your fantastic support too. Yeah, Tories don't get to. He was absolutely hilarious. Some of the stuff he used to do was absolutely top draw. Absolutely hilarious. But anyway, we all know who this man is. And remember when he did his... well, it was a rather underwhelming debate, wasn't it? It wasn't exactly what people were expecting. They were expecting Tim Walz to absolutely take him to the cleaners, but in certain aspects he kind of made him look quite sane and rational, didn't he, unfortunately? But, you know, to be fair, it was I didn't mind it. I quite enjoyed it. It was the sort of thing I could get into, but other people thought it were boring as shit, but never mind. But this young lady hits on a very interesting point, and very, very good she is too.
JD Vance has got to be the biggest liar in this country that I have secondhand embarrassment just listening to him. He continues sharing the story where he blames undocumented immigrants coming across the border for his mother's addiction problem. He did it last night during the debate, and here's a video of him sharing that exact story.
This issue is personal. I nearly lost my mother to the poison coming across our border. No child should grow up an orphan.
But now what have I told you? Because clearly he's not going to. His mother was a nurse who fueled her addiction problem by stealing prescribed medication for her patients at the hospital she worked at in Ohio. In fact, she got caught and lost her nursing license. JD Vance even wrote about this in his book. So no, JD Vance's mother did not get any drugs from an undocumented immigrant. She got them from the hospital pharmacy. For JD Vance to continue to blame undocumented immigrants for every problem in America is truly lazy, it's evil, and it's reckless. Why? Because what it does is it puts a target on the backs of Latino immigrants or anyone who fits the undocumented immigrant stereotype.
Yes, absolutely. But I can imagine what he'll have been thinking about was when, while he was spewing this utter lie, he'll have been thinking about this. So he'll have been thinking, all this will have been in his mind. There's a couch.
You know how cute I always thought you were.
That's all that have been going on in his mind. But anyway, where am I? Good evening, Andrew, and hope you're well. You know that those birthday candles, they won't go out. There was a firing at the factory yesterday. Oh, hope you're well. Hope you're going to have a lovely weekend. And as I say, welcome to a Friday frolic, as they say. But yeah, that just made me. It fell about laughing. You know, the couch. Cheap chocolate wax, absolutely. Shady pants. Yeah, that was just hilariously. Don't sing liar liar pants over fire because his pants are already scorched. Oh yeah. That's all they ever do, my dear. They just peddle absolute nonsense and shit. Cooper and his red fez, yes. I'm sure somebody will tell me that Ollie Bowler Hatman, he has a fez. I'm sure I've heard somewhere that he has one. Absolutely, just like that, not like this, just like that. Absolutely hilarious. I'm glad you're having fun because that's what I do on a Friday. I just we'll have a little poke into politics, but we try to, we just try to welcome in the weekend with a bit of a good laugh because too much of it can be a bit of a downer. My wife scares me. A bloke down the pub said, "Why? What are you, a man or a mouse?" I said, "A man." The wife's afraid of mice. My wife says, a bloke down the pub said, "What are you, a man or a mouse?" I said, "A man," because my wife is afraid of mice. Even then I fucked that up. Never mind. Yeah. But yes. Hopefully Bozo's new book will be available in a reminder bin near you. Yeah. Their immigrants aren't eating the cats and the dogs anymore then. No, they're certainly not. But yes, this is a fantastic little video. One thing you will always say when it comes to the good of the country, when it comes to the good of the American people, you know, when things are going well, doesn't matter which party's in power, Fox News, they will call it down the middle. And whenever there is good news for the American economy and for the American people, they will say it down the line, and they will basically celebrate with the American people for how good things are going. Look at their happy faces when things are going well.
We are back with a Fox News alert. The September jobs report was just released, and it shows the U.S. added 254,000 jobs last month. And this comes with the election 32 days away, and the economy remains the top issue.
Wow, it's pretty amazing. So those are really good numbers, very good numbers. So you know they'll be talking about that
Better
in the
than
stump
expected.
today.
Yep.
I just hope these are the actual numbers and they're not adjusted again. But
well,
look at her face. She looks well happy, doesn't she?
if it is,
then it's a good win for the country.
Yeah, the adjustment usually comes 6
Correct.
months later.
Yeah, so unemployment's now 4.1%. So
look at that face. He looks ready to party and celebrate, doesn't he? He looks incredibly happy.
tick down a little bit.
The worker strike on the ports.
Right.
That's over. It's ended, at least temporarily, until after the election.
But you have
until January.
6 states slammed by Hurricane Helene, so that'll affect you.
Asking for FEMA money.
Yep.
Asking for troops to come in and help them, please.
All right, Steve, it looks like you're still at the diner.
We are back with a Fox News alert.
Didn't they look incredibly happy? Good evening, Tony, and welcome to the show. Hope you're well. Bozo book just in time for bonfire night. Boom. Totally agree. Get him on them. Just don't pay for him, you know. Don't give him any money. You know, get him on that bonfire. Let it burn hot, you know. Best place for him. But yeah, just look at their faces. Thoughts and prayers for the hosts of Fox News as they put on a brave face as jobs are up and economy's going well. Are you leaving us, number 3? No. Oh, au revoir. Hello, number 3. Hope you're well. Hope you yeah, hope you're well. That is Andrew, and yeah, that is as good as cleverly being knocked out of the Tory leader race. Yeah. Hello, Suzanne DW. Yeah, what scares me is that the US overseas vote may go Trump after the Republicans announced ending double tax and the Democrats' response, think of the homeland while we ignore your issues. Oh dear. Hold on a minute. I'll just better turn the light because I've just realised it's getting a bit dark in here. I don't know. Good evening, David Walker. It looks like just Laura Kunsberg when the exit poll came out of the election. Yes. Didn't they just? At the bookshop. Yeah, break into the bookshop. But pre-warning, don't use it as toilet paper. You will get a wee rash. Yeah. Yeah, and and more like you'll probably get more shit on you than what you get off, you know, so you're probably right there. But yeah, let's see their faces, yeah. My God, they look like faces, look like well-slapped bags of spanners, didn't they? They looked well up. See, the thing is, I thought this bit was brilliant because, for me, this is what I found this brilliant because this is how they should do it. This is the way it should be done because there's a specific reason why it should be. The nonsense that they call out is basically why it should be called out, and I'll explain why later. I've forgotten the name of the guy who but it's what you call honest journalism, and this guy, I've forgotten his name now. I'm sure you guys in the chat will probably tell me once you see him, but I can't remember his name. I think it's Brian something, but he is absolutely immense, brilliant here.
It's not true.
In a large number
but why'd you
of
say
the
it?
federal
It's not true.
budget.
Survivors are going to get tens of thousands of dollars.
Hold on a second.
So why did you lie just now?
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm putting the point in this. When people are talking of money in the billions of dollars,
but you screwed up.
She made the point that it was $750 a family. It might end up being
on the first day.
Brian, I'm not saying money will not reach it. I'm saying what the political reality is. People in North Carolina are upset. They see tons of money going elsewhere, and there isn't an immediate reaction from the federal government. That's all I'm saying.
There's not an immediate reaction?
It's not
FEMA's
big
been there
enough
for a
for
week.
what's going on. It happened 5 days ago. We should have helicopters in the sky of the United States
They've
military.
been there. They've been there for several days now.
Brian, that is completely not the story that people are hearing.
You're
through
right
social
that what
media
people are seeing on social media is false. You're absolutely right that the lies on social media are distorting people's minds. That's true.
We have countless people missing, okay? There is billions of dollars going to every which way like I said, migrants, and this is fine. We can have the debate about all those separate
richest country on earth.
What I am saying is, when a disaster like this happens, the response needs to be immediate and overwhelming.
And you're saying it hasn't
people
been.
do not
So you're
feel
alleging
it's
the
that
government's
way.
been
No,
incompetent.
I'm not.
Okay, but can we?
I'm not trying to tell you that no one cares about this situation. Everyone cares.
But hang on for a second.
I'm just talking about the immediacy.
Hang on for a second, because the $750, I actually looked into this because it's being pushed. That's what they get immediately. That is something for a family that has absolutely nothing. That is what they're able to get. People are seizing on what Harris said. That's not actually a reality that that's all they're going to get. But the point of this overall is that the federal government is there. I mean, you just heard from every Republican governor. Brian Kemp also said it as well. We played his comments the other day that they are getting overwhelming help from the federal government here. So that's actually the issue, is that it's not as if they're not there. I think the first people to call out the federal government if they don't show up would be the media as well.
Yes.
We've seen what happened with Hurricane Katrina.
And the Republican local officials who are actually saying, don't believe the lies on the internet. I think what frustrates me, Caitlin, is we're seeing the best of humanity in the Carolinas and Georgia. We're seeing the worst of humanity on the internet. I made a list of some of the lies, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene claiming Democrats can control the weather and try to hurt Republicans by sending storms their way. Influencers saying FEMA spent all the hurricane relief money on immigrants. It's a lie. Others are claiming FEMA is stealing supplies, that corporations are kicking people out of their homes and confiscating property. Corporations are doing this. The death toll is being covered up. Helicopters are being banned from landing in relief zones. All of these are lies that are spreading on social media, and it's very hard to negate these lies with the truth, because the truth is boring and complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that Brian Stelter, Tony? Is that his name? Yeah, I knew Brian something. I just couldn't think of his second name, but I just thought he was absolutely awesome. I found it quite disgusting that the way that this what's been happening in Florida for political, using it as a political tool is disgusting. You know, it's supposed to be a situation where in difficult times like that, people should be coming together and basically, you know, put your political beliefs on. People need help, and this is the reason why this needs to be done a hell of a lot more. And because the reason why it should be called out a lot more is because when you hear this story, it's heartbreaking. And this is...
I am still haunted by a listener who called in during yesterday's show, sounding desperate, telling me his father-in-law, who lives in North Carolina, has lost everything, literally everything in the flooding caused by Helene. But he refuses to accept help from the federal government. Why? Because he doesn't trust FEMA. You can hear the pain in the voice of this caller, who clearly loves his father-in-law and is just so frustrated and scared for him.
My father-in-law lives just outside of Asheville, North Carolina, and he was badly damaged by Hurricane Helene. And he has refused all FEMA help because he's a hardcore Trumper. And he literally believes that if he accepts anything from FEMA, they're going to take his house. They're going to listen to Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity over us who have his best interest at heart. Or my poor wife is like, the hell with him. Screw him. And it sucks. It really sucks, Dan. And I don't understand how so many people are under the spell of this freaking con man. I don't understand it.
Oh, it's absolutely heartbreaking about your father-in-law. I'm so sorry to hear it. You know, I hope.
Dan, it's hard to even imagine it.
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly, this guy has been it's totally down the rabbit hole of misinformation, and all you ever want is just the truth. That must be heartbreaking. Trying to explain to your father-in-law, and how can you not trust FEMA and places like that, and listen to every word that these people say? Yeah, it reminds me of George Costanza. I don't know who that man is. I might have to look him up sometime, because I'll probably look him up and say, oh, yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah. Yeah. Brian does tell porcupines as well, though. No fan of the corporate media. It won't surprise me. I suppose they have their own biases, don't they? How delusional do you need to be to do something like that? Yeah, exactly. It's his father-in-law's choice. Sometimes you just got to walk away. Yeah, I can understand where you come from. Yeah, but it must be heartbreaking. Well, that's the reason why I just found that really, really... Georgian Seinfeld. Yes, now I know what you mean. I knew I would probably know who you mean. It's not something I've watched often, but I do know who you mean. It's hard to imagine, yet the reality smacks me all over the head. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, yeah. I've managed to work it out now, so Larry, cheers for that. It's a uniparty in America. We saw that in the debates with Trump and Harris squabbling over who loves Israel more. Oh, well, yeah, it's something I don't know. You can always I tend to switch off as soon as they say Israel have the right to defend themselves, because you think, oh, here we go again. Yeah. But it seems to me that they can do whatever they like in other countries, and they'll say, oh, they're defending themselves. Anybody retaliates, the terrorists. It's just ridiculous. But anyway. And let's be honest, with what we've this basically what you could say, this is a perfect example of the trouble with when you solely get your information from Donald Trump. We all recognise this guy. We all recognise this guy. And this guy is absolutely hilariously funny. Brilliant. So chuckle away.
Welcome back to America's MAGA Trivia Show, where we test your political trivia knowledge as we delve into the mysterious world of Trumpian politics. The topic today is Donald Trump's crimes and fines. Contestants ready? How many women has Donald Trump sexually harassed? Curtis, 25. Incorrect. George, 35. Incorrect. Monty,
0. They were all lying to gain fame for themselves. Like that time my little sister Joanne lied and said she was kissed by Sammy Johnson because she wanted to piss off his girlfriend Mary June. I believed her and ran his dirty underwear up the school flagpole after I superglued his butt cheeks together and pushed him into the girls' locker room.
Correct, Monty. That's a point for you. Before we get to the next question, Monty, you have a special tie to Donald Trump. What is it?
Sure, Nick. I wasn't going to say anything, but since you're asking, I'm wearing a MAGA-endorsed, Velcro-enhanced, Make America Great Again official Trump-branded diaper. I see why Donald Trump wears them. I'll tell you, it's a time saver when you can't be bothered to find a bathroom, like right before this show today.
I actually meant that you got to introduce Donald Trump at a rally in Cedar Rapids.
Oh yeah, they said people seen me millions of times on the internet praising and endorsing our angelic leader Donald Trump, who has been falsely accused of illegal and unscrupulous behavior, which he definitely is not guilty of.
Gentlemen, time for the next question. How many criminal convictions does Donald Trump have? George, 35. No. Curtis, 36, Nick. No. Monty.
0, because the entire United States court system is rigged against Donald Trump, so he can't win. And besides, @QAnon Mommy, who I follow on my Truth Social page, says Donald Trump is still the president and has total immunity for everything anyway because the Supreme Court says so. Like that time I took extra cans of Natty Light from the Piggly Wiggly because they still owed me for a Colt 45 they sold me that turned out to be flat.
Yes, that's right. Next question. Did Donald Trump cause the January 6th insurrection attempt? Curtis. Yes. He planned it, tweeted about it, crafted a plan to introduce contradictory slates of electors to cause a constitutional crisis, and then convinced his followers to march to the Capitol and bring vengeance to his then Vice President Mike Pence for not going along with his plan to become America's first unelected dictator. Sorry, no. Monty.
No, he did not. He was only there to make a speech. He said so in the last debate, that he won, and he would never lie to us. It's like that time Joe Bob was accused of convincing the school marching band to play Freebird instead of the national anthem, but he had nothing to do with it because he was French kissing Brenda behind the bleachers. I know that because I was there trying to get to third base with Trish the Dish Hannigan.
Correct. How many votes did Donald Trump ask Brad Raffensperger to find in order to overturn the Georgia election in his favor? George. 11,700. No. Curtis. 11,780? No. Monty.
0. That would be a blatant attempt at election interference. Like that time Fred Miller from my high school auto shop tried to get Sally Burton from the office to give him the extra 17 votes he needed to win against Doug Delaney, his mortal enemy. But Sally's boyfriend Jim found out and gave him an atomic wedgie in front of all the 8th grade girls.
That's correct. This bonus question is for a case of Donald Trump branded never been used prophylactic condoms. Remember, they only come in extra small. How many classified top secret documents did Donald Trump hide in his Mar-a-Lago bathroom? Curtis. 100 plus. Sorry, we need an exact number. George. 110? No. Monty.
0. They were declassified by the power of Donald Trump's mind. Like that time in 3rd grade when I concentrated really hard and willed Miss Tandy's blouse button to break. And wham, just like that, her top flew open and I swear I could hear a divine heavenly choir singing God Bless America. My best friend Jeb said it was just a glorious coincidence, but I know it was me that made magic with my mind.
Correct. With that answer, you are qualified for today's Trump Stumper Trivia question. Monty, are you ready?
Yes, Nick.
Here's your question. Where is Melania Trump?
Oh, that's an easy one, Nick. She's at Mar-a-Lago, where she spends all of her time in the bedroom, where she belongs, waiting for her macho, manly, golden god Donald Trump to come satisfy her. Like that time my wife Doris was hiding in the barn all dressed up like my favorite golden girl Betty White, wearing a tearaway edible thong. But I must have been a bit early because my best friend Jimmy George was still helping her put it on to surprise me. What a swell guy he is. Anyway, that was the most glorious 5 minutes that I will relive in my mind for years to come.
Monty, that is correct. You are today's Trump Trivia Champion and have won the grand prize, a case of Trump-branded vodka. That'll go a long way to help ease the pain you feel in the pit of your stomach when your wife Denise finally confesses that she and Trevin got drunk at your wedding reception and your daughter Megan may not actually be yours. I'm talking to you, George. Don't forget to join us on Friday night for the MAGA News Network Catfight Friday, where our contestants will include Laura Loomer, Kristi Noem, and Alina Habba. They will compete for Donald Trump's affection by mud wrestling in a giant KFC bucket filled with ketchup and orange tanning lotion. Good night, and remember to stay tuned to the MAGA News Network, whose motto is, where the truth comes at you from behind.
Yes, remember the truth. MAGA News, where the truth comes at you from behind. I'm looking forward to them all mud wrestling in a KFC bucket. That man is a genius. Absolutely genius. Absolutely hilariously funny. It's like when I found that video, I was in hysterics, and I thought, yes, gotta put it down. Thought, better follow this guy, and he followed me back, and I thought, that'll do for me. That's made my day. But it just shows you that it just shows you that they'll believe anything he says. They'll believe absolutely anything. But that man, absolute genius. And it just shows you, and it shows you how scary the times we are. Yeah, exactly. You know, look at that wig. Well, yeah, that wig was a belt. Well, both of them weren't they? They were absolutely hilarious. I'm giggling here. What a 46 years ago. I'm glad you're having fun, my friend one Gerard. Yeah, QAnon mom. Yes, scarily accurate. There really are mutants like this in the US. It won't surprise me. It's everything. How many hairdressers has Trump sacked? Everyone. Yes. Yep, too close to the truth. Yes, and Boris never used a hairdresser. Yes. Yeah, I totally agree, Jeannie Bottle. That was funny. Absolutely hilarious. But anyway, this is where... Remember... Kerry Lake? Remember when Emily Maitlis got her absolutely riled up, made her look incredibly stupid? Well, this is an interesting interview she has, where she's asked basically whether when it comes to the election, will she call it down the middle? And her answer is very, very interesting.
Would you vote to codify the election no matter what happens?
Can you imagine asking a soccer player or a football player, will you agree,
But this is our democratic process and our elections that have been secured.
Julie, would you like me to answer the question?
I would, but you just posed
Or
one
do you
to me
wanna- or
about
do you wanna
soccer.
argue with me?
No, I'm not looking to argue with you. I just want a clear answer for Arizonans once and for all, because
If
integrity
you were
is a big issue.
If you were playing a soccer game and they said to the soccer team, before this election, will you agree with every single call the ref makes and agree with everything that happens in this game? Nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, isn't that what they're supposed to do, before every football game, agree with what the referee says?
would say yes. We want to have a lawfully run election.
But this isn't a soccer game.
When we get if we have a lawfully run election, absolutely, absolutely. There's nothing more I'd rather do if we have a lawfully run election. So let's see. We hope we do. We really do. We want to make sure everything is run perfectly and wonderfully.
Yes, in other words, if Donald Trump wins, it's perfectly legal. If he doesn't, it's rigged. Yes. Yes. What kind of... I call her calculate. Yeah, I totally agree, Jeannie Bottom here. But yes, Ivan says Magic Monty's MAGA Emporium. That's genius, it is. Absolute genius. But you just cannot believe that these people are in places where they can influence the vote. Yeah, she is absolutely next score. She is absolutely bonkers, isn't she? Absolutely mad as a box of frogs. and proper down the rabbit hole. But she just asked her a simple question, and she went down this nonsense about, well, why wouldn't you agree with? You're not always going to agree with what the referee says, but you've got to go with it, haven't you? You know, just say, well, I totally disagree, and I'm going to forfeit. Yeah, absolutely, Sir Larry. Kerry has been licking the magic mushrooms too often. Oh yeah, turns out the Starmer's new glasses have resulted in a squint in his right eye. Oh dear. Yeah, crap analogy from a crap politician, Tone. Yeah, she's just absolutely batshit bonkers. But we all love this guy. One thing I do enjoy is when this guy goes on these MAGA rallies and doesn't mess about, gets one of the tunes out and absolutely rocks it. Wonder what song he's going to perform on this time at a MAGA rally.
Any of you guys want some baby oil for Trump? What is Trump? MAGA don't hurt me. MAGA don't hurt me. No more. You want some baby oil? No. No baby oil? No. All right. Are we going to Flavor Town? What is Trump? You want some baby oil? We can get oil for Trump. You guys have a right to assemble. I have a right to put baby oil all over my precious body. Woo! Let's do this. Remember, no political violence. Any of you guys want some baby?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we go. Balls of steel, absolutely. My favourite Trump troll, yeah. He doesn't take no prisoners. Yeah, absolutely, Sir Larry. I love this guy as well. I think he's absolutely top draw. You're just like, you look at them and you just think, wow, how yeah, it's baby oil, no political violence. Yeah, he's got to have balls of steel. I'm surprised he's not been done in yet at these rallies. As we all know, MAGA supporters are mad. Yeah, they're absolutely off the chomps, aren't they? Absolutely hilarious. Buffering going on here. Is there? Well, there's nothing been happening at my end, so hopefully nothing too serious. But let's be honest. I'll say we're nearly into the home straight now, and believe me, at the end, I have an absolute belter of a video for it, and you will be in hysterics laughing. But before that, let's get into hysterics as we watch the legend that is our John Stewart. I nearly said John Winters then. What an idiot I am sometimes. I don't know why you watch this. I talk some of the most unadulterated twaddle sometimes, but this is just hilarious. Where, remember when a certain space Karen joined our Donny on one of his rallies? Well, the wonderful, talented, and hilariously funny John Stewart has his little bit of fun. Let's enjoy what's the comedy here.
But there was an October surprise this weekend that I did not see coming, and that surprise is this: Elon Musk has ups.
His rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
Hey! He's acting like a guy who won a radio contest. No! I can't believe I get to bid on the washer dryer! The world's richest man and one of the most popular people on social media. He's got 200 million followers, completely organically, on his platform. You know, because of how interesting his tweets are. Like, things like, and interesting. And FEMA is shutting down airspace to stop people from bringing help. Yeah, he tweets that. Anyway, his October surprise is he's come out MAGA.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Dark MAGA? I didn't know it came in flavors. I wonder if for the holidays they'll come out with peppermint bark MAGA. Or pumpkin spice MAGA. I like my MAGA like I like my coffee, filled with chemicals that trick your taste buds into thinking you're drinking autumnal food. Don't know what my accent was. Now, you might think one of the world's richest men controlling one of the world's most influential platforms could be a recipe for what some may consider election interference. You stupid, stupid people. You disgust me. Election interference is what Mark Zuckerberg did.
Former President Trump alleging Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will try to unlawfully influence the 2024 election, writing, if he does anything illegal, this time he will spend the rest of his life in prison.
That's why he'll be in prison? Not for falsely promising me a beautiful life in the metaverse? Oh, JS 69420. The life we could have led. Now, Zuckerberg did give $400 million to organizations for voting infrastructure during the pandemic. And a good portion of that money did go to Democratic precincts. And Donald Trump did lose the election, so election interference. But not illegal. And obviously Musk isn't going to do anything like that.
Elon Musk is offering hourly pay to anyone willing to encourage people in swing states to register to vote.
He stated, quote, for every person you refer who is a swing state voter, you get $47. Easy money.
Oh, shit. He's giving everybody $47 million. When Trump finds out, when I think of the prison Donald Trump is going to send that sweet jumping bean of a genius to, it chills me. When Trump finds out about this, it's not going to be pretty.
How good a guy is Elon Musk? Right? You saw him last. How good?
What the f? Wait, that's not election interference because he's for you? Well, what else do you think is election interference?
The Donald Trump biopic, The Apprentice, does not always portray Donald Trump in a flattering light, and the Trump campaign threatened to sue its filmmakers,
calling the film pure fiction and election interference.
Oh, come on! That's election interference? It's not, maybe it's election interference, but you got to be a little bit flattered that you're being played by Sebastian Stan. I mean... Oh, Sebastian. If you're the Winter Soldier, why is it suddenly so warm in here? I look like Sebastian Stan if you were to put his face through one of those filters on TikTok that show your appearance right before you die. It's... Yeah, you can applaud that. That's fine. I'm
not... Good evening, Duke Vengeance. Hope you're well and hope you're going to have a lovely weekend. And welcome to my Friday frolic.
I know what I look like. But what about big tech? Donald Trump, surely they're not sitting this out.
Critics accuse big tech of election interference as Amazon's Alexa gave favorable reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, but not for Donald Trump.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a woman of color who has overcome numerous obstacles to become a leader in her field.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That one. No. That is f***ed up. That is f***ed up. I'm not sure Alexa's really influential enough for it to be considered election interference, but...
Oh, like you're so influential. I don't think I need a lecture from Mr. Monday Nights.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just trying to make the point that that's not what people should use Alexa for. Which reminds me, Alexa, could you activate the bidet? That's good. That's good tech. So, can I tell you something? Sometimes the shit's even too dumb for me. By the way, none of the stuff that we're talking about is election interference, yet Trump has threatened almost all of them with either imprisonment, lawsuits, or censoring, which is why this one section of this weekend's rally in Pennsylvania was so striking, when Elon Musk was discussing why he supports Donald Trump.
The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment.
Space, Karen.
Elon, were you not watching the rest of the show? A movie Trump doesn't like is going to get sued. A tech mogul he doesn't like, he wants to put in prison. It's not free speech if only Trump's admirers get to do it without consequence. That's just not how it works. It doesn't go that way. I don't see how his support of free speech is expose the belly worthy. I just don't. But at least the Constitution remains intact and is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
The Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
Guns don't protect our free speech. Our free speech is protected by the consent of the governed laid out through the Constitution. It's not based on the threat of violence. It's based on elections, organizing, referendums, a judicial system. Our social contract offers many, many avenues to remedy these issues and allows sides to be heard and adjudicated. Guns, from what I can tell, seem to mostly protect the speech of the people holding the gun. It's a tool of intimidation. And if I may finish, listen, motherfuckers, I'm not done. It is a tool of intimidation, and one that I think is actually being irresponsibly and recklessly invoked because some people in your crowd thought they might have been shadow banned by Facebook. I mean, for God's sakes. You guys are in Butler, Pennsylvania. The whole reason you're there is because some fucking asshole with an AR-15 tried to permanently litigate his vision of this country's free speech. That's why you're there. The whole point of a society is guns don't decide it. I would prefer at this moment not to trade in a government that offers me many remedies for my concerns, legitimate or illegitimate, for a situation where my rights are determined by how many militia members agree with me. The country ain't perfect. And there's a lot of issues we don't agree on. Choice, immigration, shrinkflation of snack chips, the unholy marriage of penguins and hippos. But honestly, dude, a country that can adjudicate these complicated issues through a sometimes frustrating, overly bureaucratic constitutional system of checks and balances and peaceful transfer of power is the only kind of country that I want the children of pesto and moudang to grow up
in. Absolute genius. Yes. You know you're bad when Alexa doesn't want you voting for Trump. Yes. Jumping jack fash. Yeah. You are free to say nice things about me, but I will lock you up for not liking me. God complex. Oh hell, yeah, absolutely. But see, but the thing is, John Stewart is a fine, upstanding gentleman and a wonderful comedian. He would never have Elon Musk on his show. Surely not.
Before we go, we are going to check in with your host for the rest of the week. Jordan Klepper's got a very special preview of it coming up. Come on, Jordan, do it, Jordan. Come on.
Yeah. Yes. So excited. Very excited about hosting this week. Yippee.
We talked about this, Jordan. You got to do the jumping thing.
Come on, John, it's embarrassing. All right? I'm dignified. I am serious issues.
Jump. Woo!
I'm blinded alone. Concentration. Premature death is no foregone conclusion.
Sell out, whatever. Disgraceful behaviour. Oh dear. Oh dear. But you've got to say, Elon Musk, he is absolutely, absolutely weird. Absolutely batshit bonkers. I'm lost now. Give me a minute. No, get the boats. Yes, exactly. Get the boats. But I have to say, I always enjoy the Daily Show. Always makes me chuckle. Now this is the final. Yes, the final video, and this is hot off the press. Well, we all like a good trusted news source, and you can't get more trusted news source than the wonderful Broken News, where they yes, so what a lovely story. You're up to date, where the Broken News, they bring us up to date with cutting edge news that matter to all of us, and nothing more up to date and more important than what they have to say here. Pay attention, everybody. This is important, very, very, very important news.
Welcome to Broken News. New research has shown that men who drive large SUVs or enormous American pickup trucks have massive throbbing cocks. Scientists have been studying what's known as the wank panzer effect. Our reporter has more.
For years, men who pootle around residential areas in massive four-wheel drives have been accused of compensating for something. But researchers say there's strong evidence that each one of these men has impressively large, veiny and perpetually tumescent wangs. It had been previously thought that those who owned unnecessarily large vehicles had sad grey button knobs like little cashew nuts, with miniature, brown, empty, crinkly walnut ball bags. But there is, according to this report, a direct and linear correlation between the size of the vehicle being driven and the size of the driver's glistening, hefty and leaden meat obelisk. The report authors say that whether the vehicles are being used as intended in difficult off-road conditions or being used to crawl at 7 miles an hour down the B6157 at rush hour you can be sure the driver has a hulking single-barrel pump-action yogurt rifle with monumentally capacious bollocks. The findings claim that if a chap doesn't drive an oversized vehicle with enough torque to pull a house down, he may well have a twig and berries that barely registers on the quantum scale, laughably small apple pit balls, and an almost indistinguishable Lilliputian micropenis or nano-nubbin. But a fella popping to Lidl for a £3 bottle of wine in a Ford F-150 Raptor with 700 horsepower will likely be the proud owner of a bulky beef trunk and full sonorous balls positively gurgling with fizzy man fat. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. Well, in a statement just in, the people behind this study said, "Our report has now proven that a male driving around a town centre in anything other than a vehicle designed for tactical deployment on the battlefield will statistically have a dick like a baby's winky on a cold day. But males using a 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 Range Rover Sport to travel less than half a mile to do the school run will have a flabberjacker with at least 150% larger lob than average and be in the 95th percentile or above on the throbidity scale." What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
I have to say, when I first saw that, I was on the floor in hysterics laughing. Yes. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Genie Battle. Johnny's top class. Glad he's back, yeah. Even if it's only Monday, yeah. Oh, yes, thank you, Stephen Bank. Yeah, I should keep saying that, but I'm a terrible shill, you know. Hit the like button and that, but yeah. Wank Panzer. Absolutely, Sir Larry. You haven't mentioned Starmer. Come on, give us... I haven't mentioned Starmer. I don't know any jokes. Why did the chicken cross the road? He wanted to get to the voting booth to vote Labour. I don't know any Starmer jokes, but I'm sure I'll work one out. Please, on your closing, can you? See what you did there, one Gerard. Well done, well done. Yes, exactly, God's lasses, yogurt rifle. A boom. The drivers keep them nastily tucked away in their glove box. It gives them pleasure in a jam. Boom. Yes, yogurt rifle, yes. Brilliant. Well, that must have it. Do you know what? This is one of my favourite times of the week. I enjoy doing these because I have to say, 2 hours just seems to fly by. Yeah. Good evening, Eric Davison. It looks like, I don't know if you've been watching it for long, but I hope you're well. You'll find Ketchup Channel funny. Scared Ketchup Channel. I must write that one down. Nice ones, but I'm glad you enjoyed them, mate. I'll write them down. You and Rachel Harris should have a Starmer competition. Oh, Jesus. I get the feeling Rachel Harris will absolutely obliterate my any attempt to trying to do an impression of Keir Starmer, but because from what I've heard, hers is very, very good, and it'll be a hell of a lot better than mine it will ever be. Starmer pyjamas, anyone for Lord Ali? Yes. But as I say, when it comes to my Friday frolic, it's probably one of the favourite things I enjoy doing. So I just find these sort of sketches hilariously funny, and it sets me up for the weekend, and I go into the weekend with a bit of a happy, funny smile. Do you know what makes me chuckle even more? Is when I can hear my daughter in the next room watching, giggling away in hysterics. That makes my day as well. Hopefully it sets her up for the day as well. I'm in the business. Rubber dinghies for sale. One way, no returns. Have a great life in Great Britain. But anyway. But anyway, what I'm thinking of doing on Monday is doing a bit of a another live stream on Monday, because I've got some videos that I'm gonna get some done over the weekend. But what I'm planning on doing is a bit of a live stream. I don't know when it'll be, because I get the feeling there'll be maybe one or two others who will be doing live streams, and I don't want to cut into their time and whatnot, because I certainly don't want to be doing that. So what I'll be doing is, what it'll be about Great British Energy. It's because they were doing I can't remember which select committee it was. They were doing a meeting on that, and it is very, very interesting, to say the least. Now, I can't remember which select committee meeting, but I'll tell you who was a star of the show. And I know I've one or two wonderful friends up north of the border who are watching this. It was a certain Stephen Flynn. He was absolutely brilliant, and I'm thinking of doing that. I'm thinking of doing that for Monday. I think it lasts about, could be tops of maybe about hour and a half. I suppose it depends on, because I think there were about four guests, and I think there were about, no, it could be about maybe 2 hours, maybe, but there were 4 guests, but it's I think after the first 2, it sort of like teeters off, but the first 2 was very, very interesting. So I'm thinking of doing that as a live stream on Monday. So, because like you get some select committee meetings are very, very good, but they're not going to do right well. It doesn't matter what thumbnail or title, I'm not going to take it in. So I might as well just do them as a live stream. But anyway, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. But I've got one or two, and in that live stream, I'm going to make a little bit of a video out, because I think, so I think Stephen Flynn was absolutely brilliant. I think it's an interesting video to make out of it. But that's what I'm going to do. But like I say, I really do enjoy these Friday live streams, because it makes me chuckle, and hopefully you've had a really good entertaining couple of hours, as much as I will. But anyway, what I'll do is anybody else? Yeah, appreciate as always you bring a little more like relief to a Friday. Till next time. Yeah, that's I'm gonna. Thanks for a great stream, Dale. I'll say I will get in contact with you, Man Monk and Alistair, because I know you've offered to be moderators, and I really do appreciate that. Oh, hopefully I'll get in contact with you maybe sometime over the weekend. But what I will do is now, because I think one or two will be wanting to head off to Ed Thompson's live stream, because I think he does one at 7, doesn't he? So what I will do is I shall now bid you farewell. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for stopping by, and take care, my friends. And I'll just move that way and wave you bye-bye, and thanks for stopping, and see you Monday. And if I don't see you Monday, and hopefully see you next week for a Friday frolic, and take care.